Hey guys. So I read a book called Balloons Over Broadway, and it's by Melissa Sweet. So this was a true story, but it was told in such a fun way, like the illustrations and the way that the text was written, like it was really entertaining to read. It was about a guy named Tony Sarg who was a puppeteer, and he kind of started like the Macy's parade. So when he was a little boy, he figured out that he loved learning how to make things move. Um, so that was like a passion of his. He was really intrigued by it. And then when he grew older, he moved to London and he realized that like no one was making marionettes anymore, which I think is just another word for puppets. That was the word they use in the book a lot. So he started to make puppets, and he would make them so real in life, like they started to become pretty popular, and people would like come watch shows of the puppets performing. So then he moved to New York City, and they started to perform on Broadway. So, I mean, his puppets were like a big hit. And then Macy's, the biggest department store, got wind of this and learned about it and asked him to make puppets for their window, like to display in their stores. And so he was excited, he agreed, and people loved him, Macy's loved him, and then they had an even bigger job for him. So Macy's at the time, I guess they had a lot of immigrants working for them, and they wanted to put on a parade for them around the holidays. Tony was really excited. Obviously, he was an immigrant himself, so he's all about it. So the parades start, and then in the beginning, Macy's had like live animals in their parade, like tigers and all sorts of things. And this started to scare the kids, so like they were afraid of them, and so they started to brainstorm like, what else can we do instead of having the live animals? And so they asked Tony if he could make like these huge, ginormous animal puppets. And so he agreed. He didn't know how he was going to do it, but he was familiar with this company in Ohio that made blimps. And they were made out of rubber and they were weatherproof, so like this material sounded great because it would hold up in the parade. So he made them, and they were super heavy, and the people had to walk in the parade and hold them with sticks. So this just wasn't very great for the people that had to be in the parade and hold them. So he brainstormed some more how he could make this better, and went through the same company, used a similar material, but one that was like less dense than normal rubber. And then he filled them with air and helium, so they kind of floated, and then they were like on a string. So, and then that was just super successful, and obviously the Macy's Parade has continued to be a tradition, and it's a really big thing on Thanksgiving. So, I mean, this book was really cool. Like, it gave you a little bit of insight on how the Macy's Parade started. And so, like, Tony, he found his passion, he followed his dreams, and then he was famous for that. And then a fun activity I thought that the students could do would be to make their own balloon that would be in the Macy's parade. So make it into an animal or whatever they want to be in the parade, and then I'll share that with the class.